Hi, I'm Henry Wong. We're here to have a look at how to fill out a contract. So we're making an offer on a property 999 Kavanagh Road, Wishart. This is just an example. Our names are Bob Andrew Buyer and Barbara Cindy Buyer. We live at 123 Smith Road, Sunnybank. Now we have to make sure our full names are correct, just like our passport and driver's license. Our emails, bob@hotmail.com and barbara@hotmail.com. Our mobile numbers over here. We're looking at paying $1.15 million for the property. Our deposit is $60,000 on acceptance by the seller. With the deposit, we try to make that between 5 to 10% to show sellers in good faith that we have every confidence in completing the transaction. Now, the deposit can also be split in two ways as well. You can say, for example, I'll pay $1,000 initial deposit, followed by $59,000 on unconditional. So you can also split it that way. So in total, you have $60,000. But if you're looking at making a strong deposit, that is making a strong message to the sellers, you want to go straight up $60,000 in acceptance. So that is straight up 5% deposit. You can go either way. Now with finance, we have 14 days from contract date, building and pest, 7 days from contract date, settlement, 30 days from contract date. So let's go to the contract. So over here, we have the consent to receive electronic communication. This just allows us for the buyers and sellers to email back and forth with regards to the contract, and we can use email as a means of communication. So the buyer, put our email addresses, bob@hotmail.com, followed by barbara@hotmail.com. We'll fill out our names here, Bob Andrew Buyer, and Barbara Cindy Buyer. Fill out our names right here. Okay. Next page. This is the waive or shortening of the cooling off period. In Queensland, every buyer is entitled to 5 business days to change their mind. If you do decide to use this as a reason to change your mind, you have to pay a 0.25% of the contract price. So if you're using this right, you have to pay. It is not free. So in this case, we're looking at waiving that right. So type in our names, Bob Andrew Buyer and Barbara Cindy Buyer. Type this again over here. So we are waiving our cooling off rights for the purchase of 999 Kavanagh Road, Wishart. Bob Andrew Buyer, Barbara Cindy Buyer. Okay, so we'll go to the next page. So the contract date is the date when both parties accept, that is both buyer and seller, at the agreed price and terms and conditions. This is generally the last writing that's written. It's generally written by the agent after the seller has accepted your offer. So this is the seller's agent's details. This is the seller's details. If they have a solicitor, they will write the details over here. If not, it'll be given shortly after the contract has been executed. So this is the buyer. This is our details. So we'll fill it in, Bob Andrew Buyer and Barbara Cindy Buyer. So we live at 123 Smith Road, Sunnybank, Queensland, 4109. Put in our mobile phone numbers. And our email addresses. Buyer's agent. Now, these details is fill in if we actually engage a buyer's agent, that is someone to buy on our behalf. We'll fill that in. If not, we leave that empty. Buyer solicitor, that's our solicitor's contact details. So if you have already appointed a solicitor acting for you yourself, the buyer, we fill that in. So the property we are looking at buying is 999 Kavanagh Road, Wishart. It's built on. It's the lot and plan, title reference, land area 650 square meters. It's a freehold residential dwelling. It's in Brisbane City Council. So nil excluded fixtures, there are included chattels, dishwasher. Now sometimes there are a bit more. It could be a dining table, a lounge suite, pool equipment. But in this example, it's just the dishwasher. So this is the deposit holder, the agent's name, the deposit holder name, the bank details for the trust account. So we write in the price, $1,150,000 that we are looking to offer. Our deposit is $60,000 on acceptance by the seller. Finance amount, so we are borrowing from the bank. So as you can see over here, 14 days from contract date. We don't necessarily have to write the amount, so we'll just type in sufficient amount for the transaction. Financier, bank of buyer's choice. Finance date, 14 days from contract date. Our building and pests, as you can see over here, is 7 days from contract date. Now, to bear in mind, the finance, building and pests, and settlement date, that is all due dates of a contract, must fall on a business day. So if the finance, building and pests, or contract date, if the due date falls on a Saturday, the next following day, business day, becomes a Monday. Now, if Monday is a public holiday, then the next business day is a Tuesday. So just bear in mind, all due dates for a contract must fall on a business day. These are matters affecting the property. That is, if there are any other easements, encumbrances, or caveats, it must be disclosed over here. If there are any tenants, generally this is already pre-filled out by the agent with the lease details, so tenants' names, terms and options, and commencement, expiry, rent, bond. Our next page is the managing agent. If it's tenanted, or if there's a managing agent, these details would already been filled out by the agent. If there's a pool, of course, this will be marked accordingly. In this case, we don't have a pool. Also, if there is a pool and there is a pool safety certificate, this will be filled out accordingly too. The electrical safety switch and smoke alarm, as you can see, according to this property, they've already got the safety switch, smoke alarms. They also have no disputes with neighbors about trees or fence. We'll hop on to the next page. So over here, the GST withholding obligations. This is something you should talk to your accountant or lawyer about. And this is what the seller fills out to do with the seller in regards to the GST. Special conditions. This is only filled out if you have something like subject to sale of my home, or I want the seller to get a pool safety certificate done prior to settlement. So any other special conditions. Most of the time, there's nothing over here. Now, settlement date, in our case, is 30 days from contract date. So, place of settlements, Brisbane. Over here is where we sign. So, there you have it. This is how you fill out details of a contract. Now that we've filled out the contract, we need to initial and sign the contract. So over here, we see the consent to receive electronic communication, our signature over here. Let's do that as an example. Obviously, today's date, 14th of July, 2019. Now, Barbara, my wife, over here as well. Signature here. Today's date, 14th of July 2019. We also need to initial the bottom of every page. So Bob Buyer, that's me, and my wife, Barbara Buyer. Same thing over here as well. We need to make sure that every page is initial and certain places we need to sign. So Bob Andrew Buyer, that's me. Today's date, 14th of July 2019. My wife, Barbara Buyer. Sign here. Date 14th July 2019. Our initials, Bob Buyer, Barbara Buyer. Over here, so we need to initial the bottom of every page. Bob Buyer, Barbara Buyer. The same with this page as well. Bob Buyer, Barbara Buyer. The same thing on this page, at the bottom of this page. Just making sure that every page has been initialed. There we go, Bob Buyer, Barbara. So we need to sign. Now, if this was actually done physically, then you need to get a witness to sign over here. The witness must be 18 years of older. You cannot witness each other. So that's what a witness signature is. If this was done electronically, then obviously no need for that. So this is my signature over here. This is my wife Barbara over here. Our initials down the bottom, Bob Buyer, Barbara Buyer. Terms and conditions, same thing. Now just remember, after a contract is executed and obviously accepted by the seller, make sure you get insurance immediately, because in Queensland, the onus is on the buyer that the buyer is buying at their own risk. So just remember to get insurance immediately should your contract be accepted. So we're just going through all the terms and conditions, going through the bottom of every page and initialing the bottom of every page with our initials. Whoops, here we go. This is the last page. Now, after you've done all the initials and sign at the right places, we want to go all the way back and double check everything, that the signatures are signed at the right places, plus our initials are done at the bottom of every single page. So our signatures are here, the dates are here, initials here. We're going to the next page. Initials down the bottom, our signatures are here, dates are here. Initials down the bottom here, initials down the bottom over here of this page. So back to here, this page, initials down the bottom, initials are down the bottom. This page, initials are down the bottom. This page over here, initials are down the bottom. Our signatures over here, and just make sure the witness also signs. You cannot witness each other. The witness must be at least 18 years of age or older if this is actually done physically. If it's done electronically, then obviously no witness is required. So our signatures are done over here. Initials at the bottom. Now we'll go through all our terms and conditions, making sure that the initials are down at the bottom of every single page. Down at the bottom here, down at the bottom over here. Initials are done here, done here, done here, done here, done here. Yep, and that's the last page. So there you go. That's how you initial and sign the contract.